Alrighty. So remember you have this title, Nature of Stem Cells. Now we've done a lot of fun activities and we've moved around, but we do have to sit still and take some notes.
Alright.
Get you. I tried to give you your reward and your treat before doing this. I had this plan first and I was like, no, you know what? Let's do something fun first. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get another treat?
No, I did the ice cream, whole ice cream sundae. I bought y'all all ice cream sundaes yesterday. Alright. So you need to help me. First of all, let's write this out. Everybody should be writing and you should be right with me because I'm writing it right along with you. You going that deep?
I know, right? Carbon.
You going that deep?
Stem cells.
Not stem cells, but cells. But what type of cells? Are they all the same?
No.
They're different cells. So what's that word we've used for different?
Genetic variation.
They are all different because they all what? Have different jobs. So what's specialized cells? Thank you. Thank you for clapping for them.
I already said that. You ain't listening.
Troy. Now I'm calling on you. Now you're not answering. I need you to stop. Who? Me? Oh. All right. So, for example, what are some examples? Now, we talked about this already. Before we write the examples, let's think back for a second. What type of activity did we do that looked at specialized cells? Talk with your partners for a second and see if you guys can come up with the activity we did.
No, not that one.
All right, raise your hand and tell me what type of activity did we do that dealt with specialized cells? Raise your hand.
Making babies.
No, that dealt with genetics.
Oh,
The Sunday?
the process of meiosis.
What did we do?
You went outside.
That we did something with mitosis, but what activity did we do with mitosis that dealt with specialized cells? No, the Fruit Loop thing was talking about mutations. You had the worst mutation of all, remember? You had no spoon top.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a hint. Red, green, yellow, blue. What? We played the game with Play-Doh. What did those things represent? What type of cells? Specialized cells. What were they? Skin cells. All right, so here are your examples. Skin cells, blood cells, somebody says nerve cells.
And,
Liver cell.
yeah, liver cell.
Now, are these all of them?
No.
No, but these are some examples of specialized cells. If you didn't remember that, you might want to put on the side the clay game. Because you have to continuously remind yourself of what we did so that helps you understand and remember when you're taking your exam or your test or your quiz. Cell. What's the characteristic of specialized cells? What do we know?
They all have different jobs.
They all perform different jobs. Very good, 80s baby.
Good job.
Appreciate you. And we know that those jobs are performed obviously in the body, so we don't need to write that. Let's talk about when cells don't perform properly. Uh-oh, is right. When cells don't perform properly, What? What is that good or is that bad or what?
Bad.
So problems happen, right?
Yeah, like.
So problems occur. One type of way that cells don't perform properly, this is an example, so we'll put examples. Expel. One particular type of way is if we have damaged cells, but because we're using an example, damaged cells is going to be a problem when they don't perform properly. That's, damaged cells is a problem in itself, but we're talking about when they don't perform properly. Remember, cells perform different jobs within the body. One place in the body is your liver. One place in the body is your stomach. One place in the body is your pancreas. All of those are made of cells. Do you agree? Hands up if you agree. All right. So if damaged cells are in the pancreas. Oh, good. 80s baby.
Okay. That's a candy answer. Science?
So 80s baby said that damaged cells in the pancreas is responsible for what?
Digestive.
No.
Blood cells.
And it's going like.
It does help with that whole not digestive process, not really help about hunger and all that stuff. But you said, what 80s baby said it makes what? Insulin. So your pancreas is responsible for making insulin. So, Tavarsity, I've asked you several times to move to the other side of the table so I don't see the back of your head. I need to see your face. Please move now. Because you're up. Tavarsity, when the body doesn't make insulin or the pancreas isn't working, you have known this oh so well. What's the problem? What happens to that person? Or what's the cause of that person? Or what's the problem that they can occur?
Oh, high sugar?
Which means that they could have diabetes.
Type 1
Diabetes. I'm spelling this right? Yeah. And Kanar brings up a good point. There's two types of diabetes. One that's just already happening in your body, it's genetics. The other one is because of dieting, where you can damage your pancreas and you develop diabetes. That's why you have to eat a good diet. All right. Another problem that could occur, the problem is damaged cells. Another problem that could occur is an irregular shape y'all okay? Irregular shaped red blood cell, which means that it could be shaped. Yes, it could be shaped like this.
Isn't that the coffee sickle cell or something like that?
Yes, which is actually considered sickle cell because the blood is shaped like a sickle. You ever seen the symbol for death, the guy with the hood, he has that thing like this? He's standing like this, the Grim Reaper, yeah. That thing, no, listen to what I'm saying. His axe or his thing that he had, that way, it's a sickle, and it's shaped like that.
Say that because he died.
No, man, I was trying to help you understand that shape. Make sure you draw that shape because that's what sickle cell is. Now, what is the red blood cells, what are the red blood cells responsible for? Transporting oxygen, very good. So, I need you to think about this. Some things you might want to write down here. maybe over here so you got some space. I'm going to put RBC. Red blood cells are responsible for moving oxygen through body. The reason why they're good at doing that, number one, they don't have a what? It's the only cell that doesn't have a, only eukaryotic or human cell that doesn't have a nucleus. So it has that odd shape. So remember, your red blood cell is shaped kind of like an inner tube or a donut that has been, the center has been caved out. So that's not like a circle. It's like, remember we talked about it like if you had a donut, but you didn't cut it all the way through. You left the bottom there, but you still just scooped out the center. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And the reason why it's good at carrying oxygen is because it has a high what? Has more spaces.
Oh, surface
It
area.
has a high surface area. So it gives high surface area. So therefore, if it's irregularly shaped, are you increasing your surface? If it's irregularly shaped, meaning it cuts this in half or makes it circular, it's now not going to be able to flow through the body. Not only is it have a high surface area that allows the oxygen to flow through, because of its thin shape, it can also move easily. So it moves through your body easily. It can move through your capillaries. And your capillaries are very, very, very small. And that blood can flow through there very easily. All right? So I'm going to put, what I'm putting down here, I'm putting moves through small places. And that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
But if it starts to be shaped like this, it gets stuck and causes blood clots. Very good, Chappie.
Get it, bestie.
So for this, if it's irregularly shaped, it alters. Drink, be quiet. It's going to alter the function.
Does asthma have anything to do with it?
Hold on one second, 80s baby. And the reason why it helps with the moving of oxygen or helping producing oxygen in the body is because of hemoglobin protein. So it alters the function of hemoglobin. And we talked about this when we talked about protein and carbohydrates and all of those stuff. We listed hemoglobin as one of them. But hemoglobin is a protein. And the function of this is carrying the oxygen. So it alters the function of hemoglobin protein from carrying O2. And that's a bad thing. Because then the person, what? Their oxygen levels decrease. And that's not good. So this is a major problem for sickle cell because now the oxygen is not getting to the body. Not only they're not getting O2, but they also can get blood clots, like Chappie said. All right, questions? Somebody else? 80s baby, you had your hand up.
I was gonna ask, is that what the commercials be showing on TV? Because it be like a whole bunch of red blood cells and then we get caught.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's from different things, but sickle cell is not the only way you get the blood clots. Remember I talked about when I had my surgery, my vein was squeezed between my muscle and my rib. So that pinching of the vein also stopped the blood to flow because there was no open space.
Does that cause shortness of breath?
Yeah, definitely, because you're not getting oxygen. Yes. Questions about this? All right. What I want you to do right now is I want you to talk to your group. This is what I want you to talk to your group about. Why would this be a problem? And why would this be a problem? One person say why this would be. The other person talk back to why this would be. Go.
Would that be? That's my boy. Like people need insulin, you know how you go. Shit will be low. I mean, can be positive. Yeah, we can have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the second one, that's been no, when you get coffee.
All right, freeze. We're going to jot down a couple things. We're going to leave it there, and we're going to pick back up tomorrow so that we have a full understanding of it. Eyes up here really quickly. One thing that I want you to remember as we go through this, stop talking. Remember mitosis. Talk to your group about what mitosis is really quickly.
I forgot the R.
Remember mitosis.
You had G1.
All right, what's mitosis? Simon. It is cell division. So mitosis is cell division, but what happens during that process? It's asexual. So what do you mean?
No sex involved.
So what do you mean? The cells duplicate.
Making two new donor cells.
Okay, the cells duplicate, making two. Thank you. Two new identical cells. That's where we're going to leave off, and that's where we're going to pick up tomorrow. Go ahead and pack up. Your homework is to study what we talked about today.
Did we do good today?
Remember mitosis. On yesterday, we stopped here. Cells duplicate, making two new identical cells. But in that entire process, they're making cells. There was one particular type of cell that was discussed in the video. Simon, what was it? Stem cells. So this is what we're actually going to be talking about. And there's not there's not a whole lot of information that we're going to write about cells. But based from the video, who can tell me what you may think that stem cells are? What do you think stem cells are? Nope. We know what helps fertilize the egg. What is it? The sperm. That's not a stem cell. India. The growth of embryo. When does it happen? Before or after fertilization?
After.
After fertilization. Now remember, when the sperm fertilizes the egg, it's not an embryo yet, correct? Do you stay that fertilized egg? No, you grow into become a embryo, fetus, which was zygotes before that. So you got zygote, then you got embryo, which then becomes a fetus, which then starts to form to be a baby. Now from there, what's changing? The cells are changing, correct? And they change because of stem cells. So stem cells are cells that have the ability to produce a variety of what? Let's think back. It was a sperm, it was an egg. That changed. What was there? That changed. Then more of those things changed to different, what type of cells? Specialized cells. Thank you, Jenny. And Hernandez. A variety of specialized cells. So this helps to understand that it was a sperm, it was an egg, they came together. Started to form, started to develop, started to change, started to develop, and that became you because of these stem cells. Stem cells can have the ability to produce all of these different specialized cells, so now you have blood cells, heart cells, muscle cells, skin cells, nerve cells, all of those types of cells. Any questions so far with this? Everybody caught up with writing? What is this called? What is this process called? Say it louder. Differentiation. What is differentiation? What word do you see in differentiation? Different. So what's differentiation? Forming of different cells. I like that. The forming of different cells. Now, let's jump back first, because isn't mitosis the forming of cells? Right? How do they become different? Because the forming differentiation happens through mitosis, but how do they become different through differentiation? Genetic variation, is that true? Genetic variation is what produces several different organisms. Do they all have the same DNA? Okay, so forming different cells, they still have same DNA, but how are they different? Why are they different? Why? Exactly. Still have the same DNA, but Raji, say it one more time for everybody to hear you. Say it loud.
Different genes are stimulated in different cells.
Different genes are stimulated in different cells, so we can even say certain genetic material is activated or suppressed. We're not going to say deactivated. Suppressed meaning it's not on. Turned off. Any questions with this? Look to your partner and turn to your partner and talk to them about this stem cells and differentiated process and how it's all related to mitosis. So what I want you to do, let me say it clearly, talk to your partner, only your shoulder partner. If you don't have a shoulder partner, then you need to jump in with the group that's across from you and talk to them about this process and what this makes sense to you. So how can you put this in your own words? Go.
You could say, how lots of stem cells are basically kind of like my own.
Yeah, it's training. But that relates to my
So, it's stuff you don't be trying and basically the process of
All right, freeze. Raise your hand if you or your partner did not have a good understanding of it. We need to be honest. Okay? 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 All of you did not raise your, you don't have a good understanding of it. Okay?
It's happening.
I said raise your hand if you do not have a good understanding. Okay? Okay? Okay, good. Good. All right, so, Quatoria, know yourself. What is your understanding of this? And the reason I'm doing this is to see if your peers can explain it in a way that maybe that I did not get through to you. And then we can piggyback off of that and build a better understanding. Quatoria, what do you make of this?
I said that mitosis was like, it was making two daughter cells, but when it comes to different functions in the body, they perform different jobs. So, like, even though they have the same DNA, different parts of it, the DNA is like, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, let's help her out. Raji, you're on the same, go ahead.
I said that we have different cells in our body for specialized jobs because of stem cells, and also differentiation. And that is when, like, for example, that is when, like, certain cells are stimulated to do certain jobs and others are not. Like, your skin cells will not do the job of your lung cells.
Okay, hold that thought because I think if we draw this next picture, it'll help you better understand it. Just hold that thought for a second. I want to jump back up here for 1 second. Because we have, remember, mitosis, but we also talked about the beginning process. Which was, no, the beginning process of even getting to the embryo. What had to come together? Sperm and egg. So we also need to remember what? How did those form?
Through asexual sex.
Which is meiosis. So we also need to remember meiosis. You can put it in your margin on the left.
I'm confused.
Hold on 1 second. What's meiosis?
It's sexual reproduction.
So what is it? The producing, it's not sexual reproduction, it's the production of what? Sex cells. Gametes, thank you. Production of gametes, which are the sex cells. So we have to remember these two so that we can get through this stem cell thing. Now, Chappie says she's confused. What are you confused about?
Okay. I'm confused where meiosis came from and all of this. We were just talking about meiosis.
But remember, before you can become an embryo, a sperm and an egg had to form.
I understand.
Okay, so the sperm and the egg had to come together. How did the sperm and egg form? Because of this. Once they came together, this started to kick in so that your cells can reproduce.
Oh,
Okay, so if you wrote this down, I didn't want you to write this down yet. I'm going to talk about this in a second. But before talking about that, let's just draw a little picture that will help it to become just a little bit more clear. All right, meiosis is the production of what? Of gametes. What are those gametes? And what are the sex cells? Sperm, okay? So we have our egg. And we have our sperm cell. Okay? Once those come together, yes, you do need to draw this. They're going to start to produce cells. They come together, they're going to start to produce more cells. So these clumping of these cells, and this is the formation of about to make a baby. But these clumping of these cells, what type of cells do you think these are? These are stem cells. Not an egg, because eggs right here, you think I get more eggs?
Oh.
These are your stem cells.
Ain't nobody else answering.
Yes, they did. Madison said it.
Well, not Madison.
Oh, she's not nobody? Really?
Different.
She's different?
Oh, so
Everybody's
the-
different.
So the variety is a different.
I'm telling him to shh, I'm having you talk. Quiet over here. Go ahead.
Oh, so the variety, because it says the ability to produce a variety of specialized cells.
Mm-hmm. Yes, good. So that's why I figured the picture would definitely help. So from the stem cells, the clumping of them together, so this is just a picture of showing how they're clumping, but then what's going to happen. So you can just draw a bunch of little circles. But then they're starting to break apart. And this is called, like the video said, blastocyst. What does cyst mean?
It was like a system.
Like cytoplasm, cytokinesis, what does that mean? Cyst means cell. So what do you think's happening here? Not overgrown cell, I just said they're separating apart. Yes, it's the blasting of the cell. The blast of the stem cells, or separating. Because from there, you're going to now have a variety of different stem cells. The fact that I said there are a variety of different stem cells, what type of stem cells are they?
Specialized.
Nope, they are specialized, but they're different stem cells. Thank you, differentiated. Differentiated stem cells. That's what those are. Now, what are stem cells? What can they do?
Produce a variety.
They can produce a variety of specialized cells. So what do you think? Raise your hand. Oh, actually, talk to your partner. What do you think's going to happen? What's the next process that you think's going to happen? Talk to your partner based on what you know about what stem cells are. Simon, what do you think's going to happen?
Okay, I was saying like all the cells gonna have like it's gonna be like specialized, like they're gonna all have different jobs.
Like, give me an example of some specialized cells from your yesterday's notes. Tavarsi, help them out.
Like
Your nerve cells. Good. So from this differentiated cell, we can develop our nerve cell. Who remembers what a nerve cell looks like?
It's like
Like a tree branch. Thank you, Kennard. So we have nerve cell. What are some other specialized cells? We have, okay, I'm going to just go from here and do what Brandon said. We have some skin cells and some tissue cells. So it's kind of, skin cells almost look kind of like a block cells stacked together, or tissue. So we have skin cells. I think I heard somebody say blood cells. Liver. We can put all of those, but I'm just giving you 3 because I've only put 3 sets of differentiated stem cells. So I'm just going to do the 3. But then we have your blood cells. What kind of cells did I just draw? What kind of blood cells? Red blood cells. If it wanted to be a white blood cell, But we also can put that, those are just larger. That would be a white blood cell. But all of this happens here. So once the egg comes together, the stem cells, they clump together, forming those stem cells because they have the ability to form differentiated stem cells, which forms a differentiated cells altogether, a bunch of specialized cells, which creates who? Which creates you, who you are. Does this make sense? All right. Now, I'm going to just write it here because I don't want to really erase all of this. But now I am going to write that gene expression. Talk to your partner using your knowledge of these words and come up with what you think gene expression is.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Oh my God.
Bestie, what's gene expression? I said bestie. Okay, she said genes go throughout your body. What did she mean by that, Brent? The makeup of your traits? I'm a little confused. Chappie, help them out.
The way the genes are like shown in your body.
The way genes are shown. So gene expression is what genes are shown. You don't have to see it because I just said it. What genes are shown? Why? Talk to your partner and tell me why are certain genes shown and others are not.
Some probably has to.
This what gets called.
All right, freeze. Troy.
That some genes are shown because some are dominant.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you because some people are talking. Go ahead.
Be quiet. I said some genes are shown and some are not because it got to do with dominant and recessive.
Okay, some genes are shown and some are not because of dominant or recessive. Okay. Is that the only reason why?
Nope.
Why? What would be another reason for gene expression? What do you mean by that?
Like some cells might do a better task that's more dominant.
I'm not quite
Okay,
understanding.
basically what I'm saying is basically like a specific cell in the body can do a different task than the other.
Okay, so like, for instance, nerve cells are better at sending messages than brain cells because nerves are located where? I'm sorry, nerve cells can do better than skin cells because nerves are brain cells. But where are nerve cells located? In the brain. So why can't stomach cells do the job of nerve cells? Because they're not located where?
In the
In the brain.
So that the stomach cell doesn't live in the same location as the nerve cell, right? So that would be considered as what? Environment. Very good.
Environmental processes. Yeah.
Environment. I probably spelled that wrong because I always spell that word wrong.
You should let it right now.
You left the N after the O.
That's what I always think, if there's an N after the O or not. That's what spell check is for. I should have underlined it in the green line or red line and tell me
Can you
something's
spell
wrong.
check on the test?
I know. Thing. All right. So the environment also determines gene expression. Not only inside your body, this differentiation, nerve cells are only going to be nerve cells because they're located in the brain. So the gene that's turned on, activated, is the activation for sending messages because it's in the brain. Everything else, blood information, skin information, those are turned off. When it comes to the blood, everything for the blood is turned on, everything else is turned off because of the environment. Same thing for the skin cell. Everything else is turned off, but the skin cell information is turned on. But that is not just within your body, it's also outside of your body on what you look like and who you are. Yes, your parents may be of, let's say for instance, they're of lighter skin tone, okay? And the gene that comes out is for lighter, you're supposed to be of lighter skin tone. But let's say you are born in a tropical area where it's sunny all of the time. What is this child going to develop their skin tone going to look like? It's probably not going to be a dark skin tone, but it's actually going to be probably darker than the parents. Because maybe the parents, let's say parents are of fair skin tone and they live in Alaska, but the dad is in the Navy Reserve or Army and they travel. And now they've moved to Jamaica. And they moved there to Jamaica, and that's where they lived, and the mom and the dad had a baby, and the baby was born, and they lived in Jamaica for 20 years. That baby's skin tone is going to be a little bit darker because of the exposure, the environment to the sun. In addition to that, is that baby going to probably have a little bit of an accent?
Yeah.
Probably so, because of the environment that that baby lives in. You understand that? Does that make sense? All right, very good. Any questions? Yes.
Is accent more of like, okay, because you know how like if you move somewhere, like you just get adapted to the accent.
My cousin lived in New York all her life. She moved to Alabama. She is Southern as if she was an Alabamian.
So is it more like accent more of a mental thing? Like
It is because of your environment, but also with that being said, I'm of Hispanic descent, so I can roll my R's like that. My husband can't. He's not of Hispanic descent. My son can, because it's something, it's a language that we speak, it's something that we do. Now, let's say if my husband were born in a Hispanic household, would he be able to do it? Probably so. But it comes from your environment as well. All right, any questions for this? Okay, so the other thing that I want to let you know is your stem cells. I'm going to add it right down in here really quickly. I'm going to put it in red. Your stem cells, actually, because they can keep building, they also have a special job. They don't just start here. If something happens in your body, like for instance, your stomach cells get damaged every single day when you eat because the acid that helps kill the germs also break down your stomach cells and they have to rebuild. So that rebuilding of those cells comes because of the fact from stem cells. So stem cells also replace damaged or dead cells. It helps to maintain homeostasis. Yep. Good. Places that you have stem cells, you have them in your eyes. And you might want to put this on the stem. You might want to put this in the margin. So I'm just going to do a little line here because this is my margin. So they're located in your eyes, which is good because case in point, when I was 20, which was yesterday, eyes. You know how ladies, when you're looking in the mirror and you're doing your hair, or when you're looking in the mirror, everything is opposite, right? So I was curling. I had maybe long bangs, and I had a curling iron. I was curling my bang, and I think I might have been going this way, making a flip. I don't remember, but I was going this way from the curling iron, but I went this way, and I dropped the curling iron on my eye. Luckily, it was not on the outside. It was on the not luckily, but it was on the inside. So then I go to work, and the screen was blurry. Everything started blurring up, and I was like, oh, my God, I can't see. So I had to drive to the emergency room, and they had to put drops in my eye to see what happened. I actually, you on a carpet or something, you fall, or on the basketball court, you get a brush burn. So basically, with the curling iron, I brush burned, because I burned it, my cornea. And therefore, I had to wear eye packs so that the sunlight wouldn't damage it. I know. I was the original Fetty Wap. But because of the stem cells that my body produces, it helped to heal my eye, and my vision is still 20/20, and I'm fine. Drinking.
So when people's eyes change colors, is that a mutation or this?
Genes.
It's not a mutation?
Well, yeah, because if they're two different color eyes and they're changed,
No,
yeah.
I'm saying like when they some people's eyes change colors in summer.
Same thing like some people hair change colors to gene expression. Mine's is redder in the summer.
Yeah, I was gonna ask like when your hair gets brighter, your hair black in the fall. I mean in the
Summer,
yeah.
You say muscles?
that's gene expression. It's because of the environment. All right, I want to make sure you write these down. Some stem cells are in your eye, your skin, your muscles, your brain, in your intestines, so your stomach area, and in your bone marrow. It's important for it to be in your bone marrow because the bone marrow is where what's produced? No, the red blood cells. So red blood cells bone marrow make red blood cells.
Are stem cells in your immune system? You know how like when you get sick? And
Yep, because that's what's producing the white blood cells. Now, put your hand out for 1 second. So what happens is some people refuse stem cell therapy because what they do in the hospital is they pull some cells from these areas. So that because they know that these cells are going to replenish themselves.
That's why they draw blood.
No. That they draw blood for a different whatever you're going to hospital for. But doing stem cell research, what the doctors do is they take cells from these areas. So let's say there is somebody who cannot digest food, right? Or they have a certain physical problem. Or even when someone's arm has been amputated in war. They put some cells from these areas so that they put it in a petri dish, put it in a lab, an incubator, so that these stem cells reproduce themselves, so it's cloning. And they let the skin cell reproduce to make more of that cell so that they can build and develop another arm or limb to give to that person. So they take it right from that person and they give it back to that person. Some people, why do you think some people would disagree with this research?
It's like you're trying to read.
Same thing like we talked about the cloning, religious belief, you're trying to be God, create things. Why do you think some people would say this is a good thing?
Because it allows people to be able to grow limbs back. But
It helps with research, with medicine, with research, with producing medicine for cures. Any questions about this? No? Okay, very good. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take 2 minutes and talk to your partner about what you learned. I need you to take turns. One person say one thing, the other person say another thing.
I learned that stem cells might be how they often name because it comes from sperm, how they grow. So, that's the best way you're going to and white blood. I see red and white.
I should hear everyone talking about what you learned. All right, really quickly, up here. Jenny, don't do it. All right, up here. You have a packet that's titled Biology of Plants. I am not going to go in detail of this packet because it's just a little bit of information that you need to look at and know for this packet. So I put it all there for you because it's just information that you just need to know. So that's that packet that you're going to use, and you're going to have some questions based on information here, and you will see what the outlined information that you will have for that. Any questions so far about that? Okay, very good. All right, then What you're going to be doing in just a second is you are going to be moving about the classroom to answer some questions that you have, which is page 87. But before we do that, I'm going to show you how you're going to do it. So you have a packet, a page that has multiple questions on it. On the wall, there are questions there. Actually, you're not going to, well, you can take your paper with you, but you will need to take your notes. Get back on the other side. In a moment, you will need to take your notes, and you will need to move around the class. Now, you're going to be stationed at one particular paper. So we have the class split in half, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on each side. So I think there's 11 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Keelan and Jaleel, you'll go on that side, not now. And then Edison and everybody over here, you'll be on this side. And what's going to happen in just a moment, you're going to position your, I'll wait. You're going to pick a paper and you're going to go there. There's only one person at each paper. It's split in half. So everybody that I selected for this side, you will stay along this one, stay here. Everybody on this side, the papers start here. They go all the way down to by the microwave, and then there's 2 on the back side of the folded table. You're going to go there, you're going to look at the question, you're going to read the question, and you are going to take your pencil and you're going to write your answer. That makes sense so far? No, you're one person at each paper. See, just listen to what I'm talking about. Turn on that G. You're going to answer that question, one person at each paper. And it's called the switch game, because when I say switch, you're going to rotate and you're going to move to an opposite one. When you get to the opposite one, there's going to be a question there. As we move through, there's going to be a multiple questions. You're going to read the answer, read the question, read the answer that's there. If you agree with it, you just put a check mark. If you disagree, you need to then write your answer. Don't cross that one out, just write the answer. So in the end, if there's multiple answers, that means that everybody either disagreed with each other, or if there's one answer and a bunch of checks, that means everybody agreed with that. When you move for this third time, you'll get somewhere. You may see one with just one answer and one check mark. If you agree with that, you put a check mark. If you disagree, you put your answer. You may get there and you see 2 answers, and you're like, I don't agree with either of those. So then you put the answer that you think is the right answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So either you're going to be writing an answer or putting a check mark next to the one that you agree with. If you see 2 answers on there, and one you don't agree with, but one you do, you put the check mark next to the one that you do.
So if it's somebody answers the question but it's not your full thought.
Then you have to put your entire answer. All right? So let me give you an example of a type of question that we're looking at. This is an EOC type question. The graph shows the incidence rate of lung and oral cancer in relation to tobacco use. What can be concluded from this graph? I want you to take 1 minute, look at this graph, and tell me what your conclusion can be.
Zoom in some more.
All right, let me stop you for 1 second, then you're going to go to finish trying to figure out a conclusion. One thing that I'm hearing that I do not want you to do when you take the test, exam, quiz, or anything is you are looking for stuff that you don't know. Is this question asking you what any of these things are?
No.
No. Do you need to know what any of these things are?
No.
No. All this is doing is telling you to analyze this graph. This could have said Hakamajakataki. You don't even have to know what that is. I know. What? You don't have to know. Do you? No, it's not asking the definition of this. So that is where you all need to make sure you get your mind right. When you see a graph and it's just saying interpret it, this is that analyzing data that we've done in our labs.
Right.
Go. No, I want information for this. Not go like this, go and give me something for this first. No, I just want you to be able to give me the answer. If you want to jot it so you can read it, I'm not giving you a paper to do it on though.